Minic 007, M-I-N-I-C 007 says, can you light a fire on the Sabbath? Drive a car? Warm up food on a stove? Use gas to heat your home? That's the whole comment. Okay, but generally, this is what people have said is, hey, you didn't tell us what you could or could not do on Shabbat, on the Sabbath. Give us some specifics. So this is the comment that I pulled. We'll go through these. Since people are so concerned about our perspective on this, we'll go through these one at a time. Can you light a fire on the Sabbath? I personally do not light fires on the Sabbath. I don't use a barbecue. I don't gather sticks and put together a fire. I don't warm myself next to a fire. Now, I think that there are exceptions to this, perhaps, but I think that a person should, if your only heat source is a fire, I think that you should get that all prepped and ready to go before the Sabbath starts, and then just keep it on going, and not have to worry about it during the Sabbath. When it comes to if you're out camping or something, once again, prepping is good. So I would say no, you can't light a fire on the Sabbath. Now, I think that there are exceptions to this. When I say exceptions, I don't mean exceptions to this, but I think that the idea of lighting a match or lighting candles or something on the Sabbath, I don't think that that's what it's talking about. The idea of kindling a fire, I think it involves actually getting stuff together, prepping a fire, getting it all ready, and then you're lighting a fire. I don't think that pressing a button on a lighter or striking a match is what is being talked about here. Once again, this would go back to your personal family tradition. It would go also to your communal, your community. What do the people in your community think? And there might be disagreement on that. There's people in my community who think that it's just fine to light a fire or to light up their barbecue or whatever. I try not to. I think that buttons on a stove are much easier than putting my charcoal together, because I have a charcoal grill, so I'm not going to prepare a fire like that. You want to talk on that one, Rob?
Yeah, the electricity, is it okay to have a crock pot? We like to do a crock pot kind of thing. And there's other people that don't like that because, you're plugged in, you're using heat. One thing that this is maybe peripheral, but when Yeshua was arrested, it was, now with our chronology, it's the night of it's after the Passover meal. So it's the 15th. We take the Last Supper as a Nisan 14 evening Pesach meal with a Passover lamb, et cetera, et cetera. Yeshua goes to the garden afterwards, is arrested. Peter follows. And there's a scene where there's in the courtyard of the high priest, and there's a fire, and Peter's warming himself by this fire. And so, and it says, I think in the Gospel of John, that it was cold. And I think in John, it says that they had already kindled a fire or something, and it was the slaves that had done this, and Peter was warming himself. But it's in John, and it's I think in the synoptics, Peter, being near the fire. And so we would say, well, this is, it's the 15th of Nisan, right? So, which is not a weekly Shabbat, but it is a rest day. But it shows that, at least some Jews, even in the circles of the priests, would have fires, going. Now, it doesn't say they started a fire from scratch. My thought is probably what they did is they started the fire before the Shabbat and had kept it and tended to it. I mean, we know that in the temple, they had to keep the fire going. They had to keep the menorah going, right? So the idea of preserving a fire is differentiated from, okay, you're on Survivor and they're on an island. They're like, okay, we got nothing. So they're start rubbing sticks together, trying to get a fire going. That I think that's what we're supposed to differentiate. But again, the reason why I think it's okay to not be so definitive, even though some people might not like it, is because these are things you have to think through for yourself. There are people that won't use heat on the Shabbat. Right. There were Jewish groups that wouldn't use light or heat. So
Thank you so much for watching this video. Tell us your thoughts on this subject by leaving a comment in the comment section. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and enable those notifications. And we'll see you in the next video.